Hello, everybody.
Good evening, everybody. Happy Monday.
Yay!
Happy
Sheena
Monday.
and John from the Atlas Agency Launch Lab here to talk to you about referrals, or even not just referrals, the best way to get new clients. I know I totally
You let the cat out of the bag.
I know, I'm sorry.
All right. I have just a cat running around here too. She's running around everywhere.
Oh.
Yeah, it's imagine something. I mean, and this when you hear all this, it makes sense. But at the same time, when I first heard it, I was like, why did I never think of this? This is so stupid easy.
Yeah.
Why don't I ever think about it before? So yeah, let's talk about the power of referrals. And if you could have something that has a 92% close success rate, 92%, what do you know out there that's like 92% guaranteed to close just because somebody referred them?
Yep.
It's not 100%. I mean, not everybody. It's not a fit for everybody, but wow. I think some of the best procedures that I've seen, some of the best other sales tactics I've seen are happy with 20%.
Yep.
And this is a 92% rate. Okay, so I've got a little bit of let me kind of get this going here.
So most of the time when it comes to using this strategy, guys, you're going to find people who were either not a good fit and shouldn't have been referred in the first place, or are the perfect fit. And the conversation that we had last night inside the Atlas Agency Launch Lab, talking about the kinds of people that you can't close, people that either don't have the money right now or don't have the trust in you or themselves. They are the people that you're not going to be able to close using this process. But it's going to weed out all those other things that come. And you know what? The best part about this strategy is the people that come to you with this strategy are going to buy faster, they're going to buy more, and they're going to stick around longer.
That is for sure. Okay, I think it's Shift F5 does the full slideshow, right?
So go up to the top where it says slideshow on the right-hand side. Left-hand side? I don't know. Next to share in your name.
Right. I just thought there was a next to share in the name. Oh yeah.
Yeah, all of us work with technology all the time, but the
you wouldn't know it.
I was actually talking to somebody the other day who is now a student of the Atlas Agency Launch Lab, and they were laughing about the amount of times that I'm like, is it sharing? Is it shared? Oh, how do I do this?
Yeah.
Trust me, guys.
Just trying to fly together with this. So just very quickly, a little bit about us. You already kind of know the drill if you've been doing this. And thank you to everybody who has been checking us out over time. It's really made a difference in this past month or so of us being here and doing this. So Sheena, just quickly a bit about you and why we're here.
So my name is Sheena, agency head for Atlas Online Solutions, our agency, alongside my husband. We have been running Atlas Online Solutions for just over 5 years now. He's been in it much longer than I have. And for the past 2 years, we've had people coming to us asking for the secret sauce. Well, the secret sauce is the Atlas Agency Launch Lab, guys. And beginning of this year, I decided to put it together and make it available to everybody. So if you want the secret sauce, if you want to make sure that you have an agency that runs, is automated, it's taking a lot less work and a lot less headaches, and it's actually profitable, then you should come and have a conversation with us, because we're going to get you there in 90 days or less. So that's who I am.
Absolutely sure. Yeah, sorry. and that's the whole. And then she pulled me in by looking at I've been 5 years in marketing, 20 plus years in business, from anywhere from ownership to HR to mostly IT work. And I saw this thing, and it was about the most comprehensive set of courses and setup in general that I've ever seen. So pulled me right into it. And even though I have an agency of my own, and most of the core people have agencies that they represent, but we came together to make this because it is truly something special. And people are really starting to see that in what it can provide.
Yeah, okay.
Go ahead.
So
I'm sorry.
on that note, even though I may be the creator of it, even though this is my program, this is my baby, this program is run by 3 agencies. It's run by Atlas Online Solutions, it's run by JKL Works, and it's run by Stealth, because everybody involved in creating this program and producing this program is an agency head of their own. And that's what makes us different.
And we all bring our experiences and expertise to that, and our successes and sometimes our failures, and what we learn from them. So it's very important. Yeah. All right, let's talk about referrals, shall we? So why referrals? Why would you even bother to incorporate this in your strategy? And yes, there is a difference between referrals and affiliates, and we'll get to that in just a minute. Not a lot of difference, but there are some key differences. The first thing here is, as you see on the screen, is people routine. They normally they just have a tendency to refer. How many times have you seen on Facebook, on some of the local social sites, on like Nextdoor, some of the others, people looking for recommendations for something? I mean, I think it's even its own, short. What's the short? They'll like LRO or something like that, looking for recommendations. For, I don't even know what it was. That shows my age. But I know it's out there. But when people are asking for this, so people inherently do it. And whenever that somebody has a need, and they have a need right then, maybe their AC's gone out and they live in the southwestern United States. Maybe they maybe a lot of rain's coming down and they also live in the southwestern United States and they don't know what to do with it. And they're looking for solutions to problems right away. So usually when they're asking, they have a need right then. And if you know a business that can fulfill that need, they're going to get a shot. And if that business has a referral program, then me, who's recommending them to that business, is going to get rewarded for doing that. And guess what? I'm going to refer an awful lot more if I'm going to do that. So referred customers, you see right there, 92% more likely to buy. That number is as low as 75%.
Yeah, and that comes down to that. Remember that conversation we had right at the very first live we ever did inside this group? We talked about the fact that 3% of any of your audience is ready to buy. If you are looking at an audience of referred customers only, that percentage is like at least 92%.
Yeah. I mean, that seems like an inflated number. Guess what? It's not. It's really not. And now it can't be 100%, because there are sometimes that are referrals, and it's for whatever reason just not a fit. And sometimes that's the business's fault that's getting the referral. Maybe they don't respond quickly enough. Maybe their prices are out of line. Maybe they don't have availability. Maybe it's something just as innocent as that. They just, hey, I'm full. Thank you for referring, but I'm full up. I can't take any more business.
Or maybe it's the salesperson. It might be the salesperson. People are going to buy from the salesperson. They're not going to buy from the company. And if you want to be that salesperson that people buy to, check out our live from last night.
Yeah, that's very, very true. Nice cross promotion, because these salespeople are your advocates. These people that are referring, that are choosing to put their name out, they are your advocates for that company. So you may as well treat them like salespeople, because that's what you're doing. Why? Because we advocate, at least I do, and I think it's overall makes a lot of sense, a paid referral strategy. This is not somebody, I mean, yes, there are people who refer out of the goodness of their heart, and bless those people, but it's so much better to do a paid strategy. Why? Because you're adding a whole new thing about why, you're now incentivizing somebody to do this. So, I mean, let's stop about referrals for just a second and talk briefly about 2 other things that are aspects of this that are very important. One is your cost of acquisition, your cost of lead acquisition. What does it cost you to go get leads and prospects coming to you? If you haven't mapped that out in your time of doing things, you should. It's time well spent to figure out what that is. What do running ads cost for you? What does setting up a website for them to go to cost you? And all of that, you will find, is far more expensive than paying somebody 10%, 20%. If it's a one-time thing, you can do something there too. Paying them something out of your net profit that you make on the whole thing and treating that as a cost that you have, because it's still money well spent, and it's much lower than what it's going to cost you to use the main services that everybody talks about and uses. It's far less depending on what your product is. The other thing you need to know is your customer lifetime value. What does a customer, what type of profits does a customer give to you over time? Not just the first sale, but if they keep buying for 6 months, if you have a paid service, then what is that amount? So when you know those two numbers, the cost of acquisition and the cost of client acquisition and your customer lifetime value, that is where this really starts to make a lot of sense, because you have lower costs overall, and then you have a customer that'll every customer they bring in, you know is going to pay you, 6 months, a year total, whatever that amount comes to. That's what you can expect from them if you're treating them well.
Absolutely.
So it's better cost of acquisition than you can get anywhere else. It's these people that are referring, it's their reputation on the line. They're putting their neck out there for you. They are being, like as in the last slide, they're being an advocate for you. And so you need to perform, because if you provide lousy service and somebody who had a good experience with you refers you, that backlash is severe, because you're costing them money and you're costing them reputation. But the flip side is true as well. I mean, people say in reviews, correct me if I'm wrong, Sheena, but like it's the negative reviews that everybody reads. Well, the positive, you got to have the positive ones out there too. Yeah. And in referrals, that makes a lot more difference. If you get a positive experience, they'll send 3 or 4 clients your way with the same close ratio, nearly the same close ratio, as opposed to, but if they have the bad experience, that can be severe. But at least you get the upside with this. With reviews, you don't always get the upside. But with referrals, you certainly do. Yeah. If one sale works for them, then they will keep bringing people to you. If that process works, if you take the time to set it up well, they'll keep sending business your way. And you benefit tremendously from that. So, referrals versus affiliates. Now, I was trying to figure out kind of what the difference is, because there really are some. Affiliates work a lot better with technology things, but referrals you can kind of do anywhere. With any product strategy. I'm jumping around. Let me go to the top. Referrals are a personal connection. To do the strategy that we talk about, it is a personal connection. They are handing you their friend who is ready to buy right now, versus the affiliate is a link you click, and yes, you have to have some things in place, but it's a little less personal. The referral is very personal, not only for the methodology, but like we said, for the person out there putting their name out and putting their reputation out for you. Referrals, like I said, work with any product or service, anything you want to do. Affiliates, you have to have some sort of, methodology to kick that off. And so it works great with software. Go High Level has a legendary affiliate program. Yeah. Where they'll pay 40%. I mean, that's no secret for anybody who, refers. Now, everybody's got to be customers, or at least the referring person has to be a customer. You can't just out of the blue show up without no Go High Level account and expect to be paid something. You have to have a Go High Level account. But if you do, it pays well. But outside of software, that doesn't work very well. It doesn't work very well for recommending somebody to a restaurant. It doesn't work very well for recommending somebody to a home service, a plumber, electrician, whatever. These people live off of referrals. There are businesses I know, I don't know about you, Sheena, but that almost exist exclusively off referrals.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I know a business that started only a year ago, and they're being very successful. And although they are just now coming around to talk to us about running paid ads because they want to scale, they have very successfully been working as a 2-person team on referrals only in a small team.
And there are businesses this is how they entirely make their living, especially if they're under the radar for whatever reason. They have to live off of referrals. So it's especially important. And
You know,
go ahead.
the best things about referrals is that you're never going to have an algorithm change or a law change or anything like that that's going to hamper your business. The amount of times that we do things as marketers to get ourselves customers, we're going to run paid ads, we're going to read cold
SEO. Oh yeah.
SEO, we're going to do cold email outreach, we're going to sit in everybody's DMs. The marketplace changes, we can't do that. It's no longer people are no longer responding. Nobody stops responding to referrals. They just don't, unless they don't trust the person that is referring it.
Right. Which is
forever.
And to that point, there's less the last point, there's less infrastructure to set up. This is easy to set up a referral program. It's it takes 15 minutes of thought if you do it right. And then you don't have to have fancy systems and all. I mean, you can make it a little easier. There are some of you who requested a snapshot a while back that is coming either tonight or tomorrow. I apologize, I've been late on that, but I've added some extra value to it for that reason. But you don't have to have that. I mean, that's a funnel page in a couple funnel pages and go high level and a lot of automations. But the fact is, you don't have to have that. You can have about the simplest thing going, that you come up with some sort of shareable thing that people can spread the word about you.
I have it inside the Atlas Agency Launch Lab. Everybody who refers somebody and they become a student and are actually accepted into the program, they get $1,000. And all they need to do is send me a private message introducing me to that person and say, hey, this person's name is Joe Bloggs and he is interested in the Atlas Agency Launch Lab. Meet him. And then I take a sales call, let you know whether or not I close them or not. There we go. So simple. I didn't have to do anything.
That's right. And it's you really should have them be clients. And a lot of times what I'll advocate on the snapshot and elsewhere is that person has to do the handoff. That person has to do the introduction of you. Again, it's back to the personal thing. This is a personal process. This is a human to human process. That's the only way it works. And if somebody makes that introduction for you, so you're not just, oh yeah, call this person or message this person, and then you try to call them, they're like, who are you? What are you doing? That's cold outreach at that point.
And that is why I tell them to send a group message introducing me to that person.
Exactly the way to do it. Yes. And so, and that way it just, makes much, much, much more sense. It goes to the organic nature of what this is, and it gets that 92% return because somebody is actually referring and not just throwing leads at somebody. You can do that with network marketing all day long. Refer your family and your friends. Okay, just these are some other need to knows, and feel free to throw some of these in on your own, Sheena, if you have different experiences. But I think the payout needs to match the product. Or service. So if you have a monthly recurring thing, consider paying them monthly recurring, because if it wasn't for them, you wouldn't have that sale
or not. So if you choose to still do the one-off time, you need to recognize the fact that this is a monthly income that you are getting. So I was speaking with somebody just recently who runs a referral program where they're selling a $2.99 service. Okay. If I was to find somebody, refer them, they were to become a client, I would get paid $1,000 from that referral at the 6-month point. So as long as that person had remained a client for 6 months, I got paid $1,000. So it's still a one-off payment, but it recognizes the fact that this business is getting paid monthly from this person that I then brought into their business.
Well, and that's a good example of there are different ways to do this. If you only do the one-off payment, like she's saying, structure it that way where it recognizes it. If you have something that's kind of low product or service, doesn't cost that much, but you can pay a one time and make it worth somebody's while. Maybe if it's something that doesn't really lend itself to payments, consider like an Amazon gift card or something. It doesn't have to be, there are, 5 or 6 or 10 different ways to do this, But what you need to keep in mind is take care of these referrers and they will take care of you. If the deal is a good deal for them, and something they reasonably want and can live with, and they'll kind of tell you as to how much they participate. But if especially if you make it known, but if it's a fair deal, people just want to be treated fairly and compensated for what they bring you, and they'll keep bringing it to you.
You can also run a very, very big thing. So my dentist actually runs a quarterly referral program, and it's kind of like a lottery. So every single time I refer somebody who becomes a patient there, they put my name in the draw, and at the end of that quarter, the draw gets pulled, and it could be something awesome like a snowmobile or an actual like paid vacation for a weekend, all expenses included. Like these are very, very big things.
They are.
They can make it very, very big things because they're getting 10, 20, 30 different patients from this one program.
That's kind of what you can do. You can wrap it with a message marketing campaign.
Yep.
So if you don't have anything, right away to, like if you sell something that's a big ticket item or you sell something that not everybody needs all the time, do what her dentist does, where you do something like that. Or tie it to referrals. So you send out the message marketing to your customers. They're already your customers, or they were your customers at some point because you already know they did business with you, and say, hey, if you refer somebody, you'll get this.
Yep. And it doesn't have to be monetary compensation. It could be time. You could say, I will do this for you. Like whatever service they're most interested in next, I will do this for you free of charge.
That's a good idea too. There's so many creative ways you can do this. It's just cool. It's to me, it's mind blowing. Okay. So where does this show up in the Atlas Agency Launch Lab? So going through this already, talking to somebody about it this morning, I know it's in module 2 because we're talking about the basics kind of in module 2.
Yeah.
And then I believe and I'm going to get this wrong, I think, but it's like module 10. It's the one where you kind of bring everything together. Yep. And you start talking about some organic ways of picking up people. That's when you've got your agency, you begin to have your agency together because we've helped you put it together. Now you start coming up with ways to spread the word and to organically bring in people to help your agency sort of grow on its own and take on a life of its own. Did I miss anything?
Yeah, as John said, we talk about this on week 2. And we talk about it on week 10. And there's 2 very distinct ways to use this referral process. It can be you reaching out to your current network because you don't have any clients. Say, hey, this is what I've started. I've started something brand new. Do you know anybody that could be interested? Have that person refer you to something when you're brand new. But once you become an established agency, let's say you have 2, 3 clients, you should 100% have a referral pipeline in place so that those clients are then bringing you more clients.
Yeah. And it's just stupid easy. This is really basic if you stop and think about it.
Yeah.
It's not to insult anybody's intelligence. It really is that basic, and it really works that well. And why we don't do it more? It's not talked about a lot of places. Yeah. I'm not sure why.
It's
because it just works.
I think it's because this is culture inside of marketing where we all get clients that come to us and we're trying to sell them their services and everything else. And like, what have you been currently doing? Oh, word of mouth. And then we need to explain why word of mouth isn't good enough so that we can actually sell what we want to do. So we're talking ourselves out of it and we're trying to make it into a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. It's really, really not.
No, not at all. And you can monetize it in such a way that, hey, I'll give you I'll set up the strategy for this and help you work through it. So that's just a little bit extra. You could charge, $50, $100 a month or something as part of what you're doing. And the return is phenomenal.
Yep.
And what you will get. And this is, though you may charge a lower amount, this is goodwill. You're giving this person, something that'll help pay for your services and do it in such a way that, and maybe you might be worried they'll come to the same conclusion. Why didn't I think of this before? I'm an idiot. But the fact is, that's why they have you. That's why you're there, So yeah, there's just so many cool uses of this, and I just couldn't let it go by without, spending a little bit of time talking about them. And
All right.
for those of you, just real quick, in the Atlas Agency Launch Lab, we didn't get in on the well, for those who got the snapshot, you're going to get the snapshot. You're going to get a video explaining how it works and go high level. For those who didn't do that, what we're going to do, I'm going to post a video that I made. It's a little dated. It's from a little over a year ago. And is part of my agency, but it's something I send around to clients when I'm kind of getting them ready. It's about the power of referrals. It restates a lot of this, but at the end, it adds a calculator where I actually show you, what could be the cost of versus the profits you get out of it. What does it really cost to do that? How much against your profit is this really taking up? It's not taking up that much.
Yep.
Versus the cost of client acquisition. So you get to see those calculators and how they work. So I think you really like that.
All right.
That'll be in the Atlas Agency Launch Lab Facebook group.
Yeah. So as John said, if you want to find more information about this, if you'd like to get those extra trainings and those free things that he is handing out, go ahead, join the Atlas Agency Launch Lab group if you haven't already. This is going to be our last time for a short while that we are live inside your group. Our September student roster is almost full. We have one more space, but I'm pretty sure that it's going to be gone by the end of this week. That's right. We need to take some time away. We need to participate and help our students and everything else. So we're going to be stepping away for a little bit. Not forever. We're still inside this group. And if you want to see more of us, go ahead, join the Atlas Agency Launch Lab group, and we'll see you inside.